What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Tratter Talk, a podcast centered around the country lifestyle and how to be a positive influence. Today, we have Roy Dinges with us, and this podcast is brought to you by Ariat. I don't know how to say that. Paul, can we get a voiceover, dude?
Ariat, innovative and award-winning performance products for all types of outdoor and work environments.
Okay. Today, you're probably wondering where Nick is. So there's been a tragic accident, and Nick got mauled by a bear. And you're probably like, no way. Like, Nick really did get mauled by a bear. No, I'm just joking. Nick's over here in the hot seat today. So everyone give him a round of applause. Yeah.
Yeah, no bear for me today.
No bear for you, Nick?
No. Why do you always say that?
I don't know.
What led you to say that on social media?
I don't know. Zach started it. He's just like, yeah. Everyone's like wondering like where Zach was after Tratter Gang broke up, and they're like, "Where's everyone at? Where's Nick? Where's Daryl? Got mauled by a bear. Worry about your own."
Or mauled by a skid steer.
Yeah. But today we got Nick in the hot seat. A couple weeks ago, I was in the hot seat, and we're just gonna get to know Nick Luciano a little bit more today. Yeah. So, I guess we'll start off. Asking you like kind of where you came from and like what was your childhood like, Nick?
Oh, well, I was born and raised in Maryland. A lot of people don't know where Maryland is, actually. It's so funny. A lot of people in Texas literally don't know Maryland. They either think Maine. Like you always say Maine. They think it's Maine, but no, it's Maryland. It's like really small state on the East Coast. I grew up in Cecil County. Which we call Cecil, Tucky. A lot of people, it's just like a small redneck town, really. Went to Rising Sun High School. I graduated when I was 17. And then I went to Salisbury University, partied it up for 2 years. And then I transferred down to UNT. Other than that, I had a pretty good childhood, living with my parents, played baseball, football, basketball. My dad was really supportive in all my baseball career. I really wanted to be a baseball player. That's like my number one goal. And then I wanted to be a veterinarian. And then as I got further in life, I went to college to be an engineer. Then I was an engineer. And now we're here.
Yeah. So you go through like all those stages of like wanting to be a baseball player, wanting to be this like vet tech or whatever. And then here's an engineering degree that is total opposite of both those things. Like, where does that come into play? Like, why would you want to do that? Engineering.
I don't know. It's just like, I've always, it kind of leads back to that thought. Like, they tell you when you're young, you have to have like a good job. Like, the only thing that you're going to make money is like doctor, lawyer, engineer. Mm-hmm. So I kind of picked engineer. But I wouldn't trade it for the world because, like, the person who really sparked, like, engineering and mathematics in me and problem solving is my physics teacher, Miss Muzzy. And she was, like, one of the first, like, role models I can remember that taught me, like, I can sit down and figure out a problem. Like, she would stay after with me in school on the computer, like, till, like, 7:30. And, like, we'd had online homework. And I was just so frustrated on, like, I just couldn't figure this stuff out. And, man, I'm getting emotional thinking about this, actually. Because it's like, it was a moment that really clicked for me. And she, like, took her time. She showed me all the equations on the wall. And it was, like, just that time in high school that showed me that, like, you can do whatever you set your mind to. Like, you can solve problems. Mm-hmm. And so then, I just went down that path of engineering and, I just loved problem solving. So I wanted to be an engineer, and I'd always done social media, but it just comes back to like the aspect of problem solving, no matter what it is, baseball, engineering, football, there's always a problem. There's always a play. There's always like a situation that needs a solution to. So that's kind of where that mindset comes in.
I mean, you probably notice it all the time. Like, well, I noticed that a lot last year. Like, dude, our Tratter Gang events, like whenever we went on tour last year, it was like horrible. Like, it was a fun time.
Yeah.
But it was just so much miscommunication between like the event hosts and like us. And then there was Nick right in the middle, and he was just like, his head spinning in a circle. Like you could just see him, like all the little things working in his head, and he would like figure out how to get past whatever we were going through. I noticed that. That was the first thing I noticed about you whenever we started like going on tour together and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about a problem that like, I don't know. It just makes me want to solve it.
That's what Nick does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Try to solve things. As far as mechanical engineer, there's a lot of people that don't know what that entails. Like what you work for the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, what is a mechanical engineer exactly?
Well,
yeah, like what do you need an engineer for in the Army?
Well, I'll just basically tell everybody what I did. So I worked at the Proving Grounds in Maryland. If you're from that part of Maryland, you know where the Aberdeen Proving Grounds is. And I worked for the Technical Imaging Division, which is where I learned a lot about cameras and, you know, the basics of how to run cameras. They deal with high-speed cameras there. So, you know, anywhere from like 100 frames a second to upwards of cameras that do 1 million frames a second, which is kind of unheard of. Like with 1 million frames a second, you can see like the speed of light. Like you can see light in its waveform. It's pretty crazy. But that's kind of nerdy. You don't need
you're talking hibber jibber to me right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But basically, like mechanical engineer, you see cameras and you think mechanical engineer. But what I did is I designed housings for those cameras. So a lot of those cameras were put into testing situations where things were being blown up or shot at that needed a specific housing to be designed and protect the camera. So that's where the mechanical engineer side of things comes in. I'd use a lot of AutoCAD, SolidWorks, things like that to you know, say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and then go to the manufacturing team and have them build it up and just kind of do a you know, process of revising it until we had like a final project, and then we'd put it in the field and see how it performed, and then the next go around we'd make it even better. So
could you do that, Roy?
No.
I couldn't do it either.
Yeah,
that's
and
crazy.
That's where like it was kind of like a blessing because I got to use my mechanical side of things, and then I learned cameras, which translated perfectly to social media. So yeah, but being a mechanical engineer, it's literally any type of engineer is about problem solving. So it's really hard. You guys see it with me. It's really hard for me to turn that off. Like at all.
Yeah, we see it a lot. So like, you go from, you know, wanting to be a baseball player to vet tech to an engineer. You do the engineering, and then now you're onto social media. And I know we've kind of like wrapped around, you know, like what we used to do to now, but like, I don't know, like what took, like, I mean, obviously we all know Nick is the sugar cube guy, as I call him. And, you know, this video's got like, it's like the third most liked video on TikTok. I don't even know if it still is, but I think it is.
It's 4 now.
It's 4. Like, yeah. You killed it for like a whole long time. I mean, everyone was doing this trend. Like, how'd you even like come up with that? Like the transition of it and stuff?
Well, I don't know. I think I had seen Andrew do it at one point, and I'd seen other people do it where it's like you see how many likes somebody got on something, like these girls that are dancing or something really silly, and I would see people like mock it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like it would be like a really, you know, attractive girl dancing, and then a guy would see, oh, they got 2 million likes, and then they dress up as a girl and like put makeup on like really bad, like basically mocking the outline of the video, if that made sense. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to like try to make it better. You know what I mean? So I just seen that, you know, Kayla Void, you know, she's a really nice girl. She got 5.5 million likes. And at that time, that was a lot of likes for just a lip sync video. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm in Montana, and I had been losing followers at the time. I had just hit like 600K. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what to do with TikTok anymore. Like, what the heck? I had just quit my job at the Army, and I was just starting out in videography, you know, taking on different clients. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. So I was in the mountains of Montana, and I went out in the Airbnb, and I told my brother just to hold the camera. I'm just going to sit here and sing a song. And then, it just happened to be one of those things that just hit. I don't know. Just happened.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And it took off. So obviously that it went viral.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely changed your life, like Blake with Tratters. I mean, that's why we're here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how has it changed your life? For someone looking from the outside in, tell us about that.
I don't know. It's given me an avenue to do what I've always wanted to do. And it's kind of funny, like the timing of it all. It's like literally like probably a few weeks after Tratters was huge. Then Sugar Crash takes off. And then we all come together to collab. Like
those were like two really big trends at the time. Like it was, I mean, Sugar Crash went on for like 3 months.
Yeah, it went on for a long time. I kind of milked it for a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, it was just kind of like it changed our lives, all of our lives for the better, because Tratters was a huge trend. Everybody on the 40 page was like, "Well, who is these kids and these baby voices talking like saying Tratters?" And then behind the scenes, Sugar Crash takes off, and they had no idea that we were even going to collab, and we've been talking about it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So then we come together, we film a music video, and then we do this meet and greet with like
1,300 kids,
like 1,000 kids, and it was insane. So that really started like a movement, and like, you know, it's changed all of our lives because we've seen a business opportunity out of it. And just kind of taking that word Tratter and, you know, transitioning it from a trend to like a lifestyle of positivity and faith. So I think, honestly, it's changed all of our lives, including mine, to just literally help people. You know, I think the word Tratter and what we've done here has become something way bigger than just Toy Tractor.
Like Caden's talked about before, he's like, man, I really feel like we just need to change the name of the company from Tratter, because he's like, it just doesn't seem like a very business opposing name. But in all honesty, it's what backs up the name that matters the most. You know what I mean? And it's like between like Ariat and Ariat. Like Ariat is secretariat. You know, there's always a reasoning behind the name of a company or a business or whatever. And I think it's cool because I think we're like the first country influencers to really do what we're doing. Like meet and greets. I remember whenever we started doing our meet and greets and stuff and going on tour, every other country influencer was doing it too, because they saw the power in it. They saw the touch and like, yo, like we need to start doing this because kids actually like look up to us and stuff. And I remember like I went to Alabama, hang out with some of the Bama boys at the ranch, and like they were all talking about like doing meetups and stuff. Like Taylor Campbell, for one, he was always asking me about like how could he even like do that and stuff. We actually even did a meet and greet at Bass Pro. It was like the first time they'd done that, and like you could just see the smile on like, I remember seeing the smile like on Taylor's face, like whenever he like saw all those little kids down there by the fish tank at Bass Pro, and he's like, dang, dude, these kids like look up to me, you know. That's like, it's really good that we can do this. So I think that's just really cool that this, like you said earlier, like we made a stand for, you know, what we believe in and stuff.
Yeah. And
a lot of influencers take action after that.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Like Tratter, the word Tratter itself, yeah, it started out as something funny and like a trend, but what really matters most is taking that trend and like, you know, making it stand for something. Whether as a business and as a lifestyle. So I think we've done a really good job at that.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, Roy, you ever heard of like how people say don't ever forget where you came from, like don't forget your home roots or whatever? Yeah. I feel like that kind of Tratter code kind of comes from like where we came from, you know, and seeing where we grow too. So that's pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, it is. So, speaking of viral, both of you went viral. And Nick, you have someone in your family that the world has come to love. Everyone knows Diesel.
Yeah, Diesel's went viral.
Yeah, Diesel went viral. You bred him. First horse you ever bred, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We seen him a couple weeks ago. He's growing quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be 1 in 2 weeks. Like he was born on Cinco de Mayo.
Birthday celebration.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little birthday cap on him.
We're going to get tanked with Diesel. Go get some Mars or something.
Yeah. That was a fun experience, though. I was always said I like, because when I went to college, I was rodeo on the weekend, and I always said, like, I wanted to, like, improve my horsemanship a little bit more, and I always felt like raising a horse from the ground up is a good testament to that.
Mm-hmm.
So Diesel's helped me, and, like, man, I love that horse so much. Like, dude, he's just awesome. So, he like it's so weird. Like, dogs and cats are one thing, but horses have such a special place in my heart. It's insane. They teach you so much patience. They communicate with you way more without saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just the look in their eyes. I don't know how to explain it, but Diesel does that to me on the regular. Even like when I was living in that RV and I go out to the pasture and you just like see him perk his head up and whinny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's like one of the best feelings. And yeah.
I know the feeling. I mean, my little sister Abby, she had like a little. She had Constance since she was just a little baby thing. I mean, right off the tit, she's there at the house, and I know what you're talking about, like raising them up from a baby, and they're just growing this beautiful. Like, how do you know? I can't even describe what it is. It's just, it's a masterpiece.
It literally is like these, like, the second he was born, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, that's mine. Like, I've always seen just like little horses and baby horses, but they've just kind of been like, this is the first horse that was like, holy cow. Like, it's not just in, his mom's tummy anymore. Like, this is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of how, like, when you got Briggs, like, oh, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we gotta put in the work. So I was out at the barn every day working with him. So
yeah, he's pretty desensitized. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What I love about horses, and whether they're hurting, they're lame, or maybe we're hurting inside. Like I always say, a horse will speak to you if you just listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do, and they'll speak to you.
Yeah. Diesel does that for me a lot. There'd be times where I was just overwhelmed and, going through things in life, and you go to the barn and you just sit in the stall and they just like look at you. They know. And even like the other day when I was it's so funny when I was just saying goodbye to like Coda and all of them. Coda in the pasture is like literally impossible to catch sometimes. He won't even let you near him. But I was saying goodbye and like he felt it and he just stopped and he let me hug him, and I just, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They feel you more than any other animal ever will. It's just weird to explain. It's so hard to explain on camera if you're not like actually like in it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
What do they say? They say a horse can feel your heartbeat from like 6 foot away.
Yeah,
or something like that.
They can hear it. Yeah,
hear it. Yeah,
yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I always tell people, as cliche as it sounds, like a lot of horses, like even my horses, they like to run in the pasture. But if you have, this is what horses have taught me so much. Like, if you're having a bad day, or if something is like in your mind, in your like head, you're overwhelmed and your heart rate is elevated. Just from thinking about this stuff, you need to just like get all that junk out of your mind and think nothing but you and the horse. Mm-hmm. You need to calm yourself. You need to calm like what you're thinking about down and just focus on that horse. And that's what horses, they'll teach you the same thing, if that makes sense. So it's funny because some people will go out to catch a horse and then like they won't be able to do it. And then I just kind of tell them, like, walk them through like, hey, just let go of whatever you're thinking about. You know what I mean? That horse is getting stressed out with you walking up like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it is. Well, so Diesel to bull riding. You rode years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, like steers and rodeo events.
Mm-hmm.
So a month or so ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
You got on a bull again.
Yeah.
Were you
Finally.
nervous, scared?
I was a little nervous, but I wasn't that nervous because I seen him just a little bunny hopper. I don't know. I just hadn't ridden anything in like a long time. So, I don't know. I was kind of ready, actually. I was like itching. Because I said it, and then you wanted to get on.
Roy was itching.
Yeah,
bad.
Roy was
Yeah.
itching bad. He wanted to spur one down.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to get on that little brindle thing.
That was fun to see you go out there, though.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was like all that smack talk that Nick been saying, like about me and Caden riding and stuff. And like Nick wouldn't get out there and ride no bull because he's like, I ain't gonna be hurt the next day. But you know, Nick's one of those guys that like just talks crap because he's like very competitive, but Nick won't back it up hardly most of the time.
You're
But here
so wrong.
But you know, 3 weeks later, whenever I still have a tour in the groin, he wants to go ride at Dale's.
Mhm.
And so I was mad because I couldn't ride because if I did, my groin would have got pulled again and I would have been out for another month.
Mhm.
But I'm ready to go back and run it up back to back, me and Nick
Yeah, hey,
and Caden.
we got to get Bo on one.
Yeah, we do got to get Bo. I think
Yeah.
Bo needs to go to the beaches too.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
We got all your gear now too.
Yeah, I got all my stuff. I got shafts, rope, I got everything.
And
You know what was funny about that whole day after Nick rode?
Hmm.
Like, not taking anything away from you because you rode him. Like, that bull couldn't kick over a snuff can, right?
he's
And
like, at least he's better than Caden's bull.
Yeah, that's true. And when Nick got off, it's like he rode for 90. He was so excited. Like,
Hey, I would have been too though, because like, I mean, he beat the buzzer.
yeah, no, I was happy for him.
I was like, I saw him out there throwing them windshield wipers, bro. And I was like, oh man, there goes Nick.
That was just like, I don't know. You get on something after like a really long time. Like I hadn't even been in a saddle in a while.
My adrenaline would have been rushing regardless. So
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was just fun. It was just an experience to get to do it. I was just over the moon about it. I got to like get on again.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
That was good to see.
Yeah. So and then like, I don't know. It was just funny too. I don't think everybody else there really knew that I used to ride. So like I had
Yeah, they
somewhat of a seat. Like you know, what
they
I
were
mean?
all freaking out. They're like,
Yeah.
"Dang, dude, that was good."
Yeah, and I was like,
And then once you told them that you'd rode before,
They're like,
"Oh, nah, all right,
yeah.
whatever." Yeah.
But it was good. It made for good content.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. And then
Little
you got
surprise.
tabletop. That was the best part.
Oh, he hit hard, too.
That was. I mean, you watch that video and it's like, man, it looks like some bullies out there, but it was all out of love and stuff. But it was funny to watch it because I was like, dang, they actually just did that.
Yeah. Did you notice when Nick nailed the ground there? He wanted to be like, come up fighting, but then he's like, okay, I gotta be cool.
I saw it in his eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was just like, it's one of those things. Like when we talk about, like sometimes I just get out of control, and like punch you like in the middle of the back or whatever, like just roughhousing. It was one of those things, like unexpected. I had no idea that was coming, and all of a sudden I'm flying backwards. I hit like a sack of bricks, dude.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there like, okay, that was funny. It's for the content. You got to remember. Yeah.
So we'll get a little bit more on track now after all that good stuff. But, you talked about how, social media has like, changed your life, and you started your own company. And along with, Tratter Co. being very positive and, uplifting, like you have your own brand, Luciano Western. Tell us a little bit like about it and like how you even come up with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always wanted my own brand, my own logos to wear and for people to support. And I've always wanted it to be a brand that somebody can wear and feel included no matter what they're doing. Doesn't have to be specifically Western, but that's just always been my thing from the beginning. It kind of goes back to that Miss Muzzy story I told with that equation on the wall, how she sat down and took her time with me and showed me that you can literally do anything. You just need to get over that barrier in your own mind. You need to get over that mental block. You need to be bulletproof, basically. And that's where because the whole reason I felt like I couldn't do it is because everybody else made me feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody else was getting better grades. Everybody else was doing this. Everybody else was, completing the homework assignments, and I wasn't because I was comparing myself to everybody. You know what I mean? and touched on a few podcasts ago about even that time in high school where like I wanted to be friends with the jocks. I wanted to be friends with the nerds. I wanted to be friends with everybody. I wanted to compare myself to everybody to make me feel valid. When then none of that really matters. You know, all that is just outside noise that kind of comes into your head, and that's where you got to be bulletproof. You can't let that, you know, it's just got to bounce off your skull. You got to be so freaking set in who you are and your identity, and that's where that term like bulletproof comes in, bulletproof mindset. And then, you know, I heard somebody talk about it a while back. You know, the slogan is bulletproof mindset, strive for excellence. I always hated that word perfection, because everybody's like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. I'm this and that. I want to make sure every little detail is perfect. I want to make sure that just everything is exactly how I want it to be. And like 99.9% of the time, that's never how anything goes in life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like nobody's ever truly perfect. So I never wanted to be like strive for perfection. You know what I mean? So I wanted to be strive for excellence, strive to be great, take little steps to keep going. Like as long as you're striving towards something, and you'll get there. But if perfection's the goal, then that's not obtainable. So it's basically in its purest form is like, okay, don't give a crap about what anybody thinks about you, and go out there and just, you know, put one foot in front of the other and try to reach your goals. So that's where that brand comes from, and put it on clothing, and now here we are. So yeah,
I remember like a few podcasts ago we were talking about like you only need to worry about from point A and a half. Mm-hmm. Instead of worrying about all this other stuff way over here. You know, you're striving for excellence, and if you strive for, I've learned personally that if you strive for the excellence in this time frame right here, you know, within like a 5-month span right here, you're going to do a lot greater things than trying to plan out something that's a whole year long. Because, I mean, you're going to get overwhelmed, crazy amount. And I'm not saying, you know, like if you don't have a business proposition plan or something, like I'm not saying that, but like for us, you know, we've took like, we go month by month, you know, or 2 months by 2 months or something like that. And I've noticed that like, it takes a lot of stress off of everybody when you're not trying to plan out like a, you know, a whole year long kind of thing. Like you can have a vision, you know, of course, but yeah, I love that strive for excellence, like in between your points.
Yeah. A lot of people, I mean, I hear it like sometimes we talked about it with Zeke too. It's like, have a plan, have a goal, and like work towards it, but things are going to change. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things you need to, you know, maneuver around. That's why if you plan too far for the future, heck, like if you plan 2 years in ahead, you could die next month. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You still got to have fun too. So, like, I'm not saying don't have a plan, but definitely like you said, don't harp too far in advance. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we all have our 5-10 year goals that we want to hit, but sometimes you just gotta take it one step at a time. And then I was telling Roy the other day, like, business too, when you're trying to grow this stuff, it's such a crawl. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to go as, like, I don't want to say as slow as possible, but go as steady as possible. Because if you go too fast, you're going to burn yourself out. But if you go too slow, you ain't going to make it.
I mean, obviously, I can speak on that. Like, when we first moved here, we were going way too fast. And I was burnt out, ready to, yeah. Cannot do that. Whatever we're doing right now, perfect for me, man. I mean, yeah.
I've learned that about you too, and I've learned that about a lot of people. Because me is like that engineering mindset. It's like, you know, deadlines, problems, solutions. Like it's just never ending. It never stops. But it's not just me anymore. It's a whole team. So you really have to take into account how everybody else thinks and how everybody else views solutions and problems, and take a step back. So that's what I'm saying. You know, I seen a TikTok too the other day from Lecrae. He's that Christian rapper. And I showed you this video, but he was like, dude, so many people forget to be a sailboat. And like, you just got to use the wind to your advantage and guide your course by the wind. Because if you're a speedboat, you're going to run out of gas. And then you're going to be subject to all the waves that are just going to, like, you know, destroy your boat and, you know, pull you further out to shore. But if you use the wind to your advantage, and he relates it back to God's wind, you know what I mean, to guide you where you need to go. It doesn't mean don't put in the work. You still need to steer the sails. You know, you still need to make sure your boat is repaired, and, you know, you need to make sure your boat is sound, but rely on the winds to guide you rather than, you know, fuel that you're eventually going to run out of.
There's a lot to be said about that old saying, you got to stop and smell the roses. Because Blake said we're just going too fast, and we didn't savor, we didn't enjoy what we were doing. So sometimes you got to step back and smell the roses and enjoy what you're doing.
Like you have that mindset of, like, you know, deadlines and stuff like that. And I get my chill background, one from my dad, because my dad's just real chill. But, like, going in, like, the work field and stuff, like, you know, I was a carpenter for a while, and, like, yeah, you have a deadline of, like, when this needs done, but you're gonna have weather, you're gonna have, you know, lumber that's not there on time, so you have to have room for all these, like, different disadvantages. Just, like, chill and, like, let it flow. You know, you gotta flow with everything. And, you know, same with, like, heavy equipment, running dirt and stuff. Weather's so unpredictable. You're always going to be, like, 3 months behind schedule, and you can't help that. And I think I always have that mindset of, like, if I get to it, I get to it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, you know?
Yeah. A lot of people, and that's, like, a lot of people don't understand that mindset because they want to be speedboat. They want to work through the mud, when in the end, it's like, okay, if you work through the mud, your foundation is going to be ruined. And if you're building on a ruined foundation, then eventually it's going to fall over. You know what I mean? So you really do have to take your time, and that's kind of like what we've learned through. We've been doing this for almost 1.5 years now. Like, we need to take our time. We need to go with the flow. We need to make organic content. We need to set baselines. Like, we have a posting schedule every day, but do we hit everything every day? No. Do we strive to hit everything every day? Yeah, we wake up every morning thinking, like, hey, this is what we're going to hit. But like you said, things come up, meetings come up, you know, things are late, more phone calls, more meetings. And then, you know, it's not like we're pushing it off, but hey, at the end of the week, we still hit our baseline numbers that we wanted to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to, as Nick Luciano would say, segue into the next section, category, whatever. We're going to play, like, Would You Rather, because I always kind of like this game. Me and Caden play it a lot on road trips, and they're kind of disgusting, but they kind of get funny. So I'll start first here.
Okay.
All right, Nick. Would you rather eat a hot dog with, like, worms and relish, or would you rather eat, like, probably like a hamburger full of, like, pig hoof?
That's a texture thing for me. Does the hamburger have a bun on it?
Yeah, it's a burger, bro.
Oh,
Burger bun.
I don't know. Worms are extra protein, so I'd probably go with the hot dog with the worms on it.
I feel like it'd be a little crunchy with our hamburger.
Yeah, that would not be good. No, I don't like that.
You got one, Roy?
Wow. I don't know. I never played this game. Y'all played this with Bailey, right?
Yeah, Bailey did it on the,
You've never played Would You Rather?
Oh, I don't think that fast like you guys.
Oh, you just, like, you've played it before, though, right?
Well, I don't think I've played it. I've watched you guys play it. Go ahead. You got one for Blake?
All right, I'll give you one. All right, Roy. Would you rather ride a wild rhinoceros for 90, or would you rather ride a wild ostrich?
I don't know. I kind of like the adrenaline rush. I have to go with the rhino.
Bro, I'd so go for an ostrich.
You would?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, dude. Like, freaking, you're riding a bird, bro. Like, why would you want to ride a bird?
Have you seen those videos of the people riding?
Yes, I want to do it so bad.
Dude, that'd be so funny. Dude, you'd fall off a rhino, you'd kill yourself.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. The rhinos even buck?
I don't know. We should try it out.
A safari rodeo. a safari rodeo. Let's buck some rhinos.
In.
In.
All right, you kind of got an idea, Roy, how you play this?
Yeah,
It can be anything. It gotta be food, it can be animals, anything.
anything.
Or where would you rather go?
Yeah. Well, you go, Nick, and I got one coming up.
For who?
Anyone.
All right. Well, I'll give it to you then. Okay, here we go. Would you rather put your foot into a mousetrap and it slams on your pinky toe and walk around all day like that? Or would you rather have someone pluck a nose hair every minute of the day?
That's yours, ain't it?
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah. I'd have to go with the nose hairs.
Really?
Yeah.
Every minute of the day?
Well, I mean,
I think your pinky toe would be numb by the end of the day.
it would. It might even fall off.
Oh yeah, true.
Hold on. How many nose hairs would that be?
I don't know, but I mean,
So there's 60 minutes in an hour.
everybody plucks their nose hairs.
Here goes Nick's
Analytical
mind
mind.
running around with numbers.
Well, yeah, that's 1,440 minutes.
Sometimes
in
it
a
feels
day.
good. You ever pluck your nose hairs?
No, I use a little
I use a razor
the
thing.
thing, and it goes. "Rah."
Some of them hurt, but some of them feel pretty good.
Nah, dude.
That'd
Ain't
be
no way.
1,440 nose hairs throughout the day. I'd lose my mind. My eyes would be done. My eyes water so bad when I pluck nose hairs.
You gotta imagine like you're gonna have to go farther in up here.
Oh,
Get nose. Oh yeah.
oh
no.
no way! I would do the rat trap all day,
All right.
all day. You're weird for that.
All right. I got one.
For me?
Yeah. Would you rather be put in a lay in a tank and be covered by snakes? Or would you rather stick your head in a decaying carcass?
Ugh.
I'd yak in a decaying carcass, and I hate puking. So, as long as they're not venomous snakes, I'd go with the snakes. Yeah, you would choose the decaying carcass.
Yeah, I would.
Mm-mm. That would smell so bad. I can deal with snakes. I've actually got over my fear of snakes, so I can deal with some snakes.
Wow.
Snakes are pretty cool. I used to catch them like barehanded when I was little.
Oh,
Mhm.
man. I don't even
All
want
the
to touch
time.
them.
Like garden
wanna
snakes
go
and
to-
stuff.
I want to go to Florida and go like python hunting.
Dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Those things are mean though.
they're huge.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you two?
He's actually so offended by that.
All right. Nick, would you rather be like covered in, no clothes on? Would you rather be covered in peanut butter walking around the stockyards? Or would you rather get your foot stuck in a meat grinder and you lose your foot?
Oh, I love my feet too much. I'd walk around covered in peanut butter, lathered in it, dude.
Oh, dude, what if that dog's there? That'd be awkward, huh?
That'd feel good.
Huh?
What?
Yeah, you better not ever think about that again.
That's funny right there. I don't care what you say. That's freaking funny. They'd be licking me all over. I love dog kisses.
All right, Blake, you ready for this one?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, it's kind of out there, but you know what fire ants are?
Oh, yeah.
I hate fire ants.
So would you rather lay in a bed of fire ants, or would you rather roll around in dog crap and walk around the stockyards all day?
Man, probably dog poo, bro. Them fire ants, they get everywhere.
They do too.
And they don't stop biting.
Yeah, they don't stop biting, and then they swell up and get a pussy. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
I hate that.
Dude, speaking of fire ant things, I'd never seen a fire ant mound in my life. And we was in Oklahoma at Gatlin's.
Oh, I remember
I
this.
kicked this thing, right? I just thought it was just a gob of dirt, I thought it was like a groundhog hole or something, or like a mole mound. I kicked that thing, and that was the last thing I ever thought about doing. Fire ants all over my boots, up my jeans, in my boots, in my socks, and I'm like freaking out, like I'm spazzing. I got literally almost butt naked out there in the middle of the field because I was getting bit so bad. Had to take off my pants. It was terrible. I never kicked those again.
No, that's the worst, though. There would be times I go out in the pasture to catch horses, and I know everybody says don't wear flip-flops around horses, but I was wearing flip-flops, and I stepped in a fire ant mound with like barefoot, and it was terrible.
I dump gas on them things.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. We dump gas and burn them.
Yeah.
You ever seen them things on the internet too, where they pour like liquid metal down there?
Yeah.
And then, that's insane.
It's an alloy.
The tunnels they dig under
Mm-hmm.
there. That's wild.
Yeah, that's really dope. Yeah. So as Nick also says, wait, what do you always say? The other one, not segue. We're gonna
Piggyback.
Yeah. No, not piggyback. Yeah, it's piggyback. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So that was honestly kind of a good game that we just did.
Mm-hmm.
I really I always do like doing games on the podcast because it's like they don't know what we're gonna do, what we're gonna say. So we're going to segue back into area affirmations, and this is kind of where we ask questions on Instagram and we answer them on the podcast, or we choose one question and we answer it. And we are not doctors or psychiatrists or anything like that. So we're just, three dudes, and we try to we get questions that we can relate to because we want to be as honest as we can from ourselves. And this question says, how to be less hateful to yourself? And that one stuck out to us like no other, because I feel like we all struggle with it at times. We're like, do you want to take off with it, Nick? Or you want me to go?
No, yeah. The biggest thing that we were going through the questions, and it's so funny because you said there's another question in there. What is something somebody said to you that really stuck out to you? And I'm going to say something that I heard from somebody about this, about being less hateful to yourself. And it was basically the analogy, if I was on this couch right now and I had like the 13-year-old version of myself right here, but I put the same thoughts in his head, you know what I mean? How would I treat that younger version of myself?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Treat yourself like the younger version of yourself. Like, take care of yourself like the younger version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? You don't want, that's still you. You don't want yourself to struggle. But it just made so much sense in my head because, you need to be who they needed, right now, if that makes sense. But to yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Does that make any sense at all?
It makes sense to me because that's how I would explain things.
Exactly. So it's like if little Nick was sitting right here and I was struggling with, just being overwhelmed, how would I treat that younger version of me?
Yeah.
But take that treatment and apply it to yourself now, today, because you need to be the same person to yourself now as you would be to that younger version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That was money. Clip it.
Yeah, I know. Man, I know for years I used to hate myself for who I used to be and what I used to do and the way I treated people. And you hear all the time don't let your past define who you are. And it also people also say your past kind of sets you up for your, how do they say that? Is that right? Your past sets you up for your future or something like that. I don't want to say that wrong, but I mean, you're always, you can't just forget what happened, because that is who you your past has made you what you are today, regardless of whatever happened. And I know that from, podcasts and podcasts, we always talk about how we used to be and to see where we are now. And it's it's so hard because it all changed for me whenever I just got clarity from God. It's just a straight shot. Dude, follow me and I will guide you. And once I had that mindset, I was I don't have to worry about what I used to be. All that matters now is what I do from this point on.
Mm-hmm.
And I know being at the house and stuff, I mean, I've been, my New Year's resolution was to drop 20 pounds and kind of have a fitted Teddy Tone bod or whatever, and I've had this mindset, and I've literally quit drinking sodas. I quit eating junk food, And in all honesty, that's helped me a lot with being like respecting myself, because if you can't respect yourself, that's also where you come from with like, you have hate for yourself, you know? And like, I mean, we always talk about it all the time. Like, you know, like, I don't know, you just have to have a goal of what you want in life, if that makes sense. Like, that didn't make sense.
No, it totally makes sense what you're saying. Like, you need to treat yourself like respectfully. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds cliche, but it's like, my body is a temple. It is.
Yeah. Like, and like, and that has a lot to do with mental health, like your physical and mental being. Like, if it's not chill, like I've dropped 15 pounds in like 3 weeks, dude. Been grinding and staying on top, and that gives me motivation to keep on doing better. And I don't know, man, you start loving yourself whenever you can, like, you win, you know, like I beat that. So like, it makes me feel better about myself, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. The first thing that comes to my mind is a lot of people compare themselves. Oh, I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm not good looking. With comparison comes disappointment. We're all perfectly made. God doesn't make mistakes. He made us in his own image. We're perfect. God doesn't make mistakes. What I always say, what goes into your mind determines how you think. We are what we are and where we are because of what goes into our mind. So you put the good in, the positive in, it's going to come out. And we need to be an example. We can't be an example if we're doubting ourselves, if we're down on ourselves. Let the light shine. Hey, I'm happy. I'm going to better myself, and plant that seed in somebody else, because we all have the light. So let it shine. And to be an example, here's what I say. You got to plant that seed in somebody else and water it. A good example, and I thought about this on the way here. When you stop encouraging people, when you stop lifting people up, it dies, right? That person dies. There's a Chinese bamboo tree that you plant the seed and you water it and nothing happens. 3 years goes by, nothing happens. 4 years goes by, nothing happens. The 5th year, it grows 90 feet. Now, did it grow 90 feet in the 5th year, or did it grow 90 feet in 5 years? When you stop watering it, it would have never grew. You see what I'm saying? So as long as you keep putting the good into it, you keep watering it, fertilizing it, just like people. You put the good into people, they're going to grow. It might take a while, but they're going to grow. Just like the same with yourself. Don't be disappointed. You gotta put the good in. Feed yourself the good, what goes into your mind, and you're going to change the way you look at yourself.
Put that on a shirt, dude. It amazes me every time we go on a daggum podcast with Roy. It's like, I don't even have to worry about a closing remark because Roy just handles it.
Yeah, he just pulled that out of left field.
Yeah, for real.
I've heard every story but the Chinese seed.
All right, y'all. We just want to thank y'all once again for tuning in on another episode of Tratter Talk. We love the feedback y'all give us in the DMs. I just want to thank you again, Ariat, for helping sponsor this podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. Paul will list them up here with Tratter House and Tratter Co. And I think our regular socials too, right?
Yeah, I'm in the hot seat, so my socials will be right here. You can follow me on the Nick Luciano on everything. And quick before we go, I know I'm not supposed to be hosting it all in this, but we are dropping Tratter Talk merch. So get ready for that. It's going to look sweet. Have you seen the mock-ups of them yet?
I have not seen that.
Yep, they're going to be awesome.
That's nice. Awesome. Heck yeah. Yep. But don't forget to go rate and review this podcast. It really does help us out a whole lot. But we just want to thank y'all so much again for helping us out and just being supportive. And don't forget to smile every day.
And know your worth.
You bet. See y'all.